There's buildings across America that use more electricity than entire cities, and most people have no idea what's even inside of them. Let's dive into that.
This is a data center. And the thing to know about a data center is that there are over 5,400 of them in the United States right now. That's enough new ones under construction to power the entire UK. To get a sense of what I actually mean, look at your phone. Let's say you open up ChatGPT and you ask it a question. That question doesn't get answered on your phone. It leaves your phone, travels through a cell tower, hits a fiber optic cable, and lands in a building the size of a Walmart filled with servers. And those servers run really hot, like really hot. And to cool them down, most of these buildings do something really simple. They use water, a lot of water. One large data center drinks about 5 million gallons of water a day. That's enough water to supply a small town. And this is for one building, one company. A company like Google has hundreds of them. In fact, it's so big in 2023, they used around 6 billion gallons of water to cool their servers. Now, think about what runs through these buildings. Every Google search, every Netflix stream, every Zoom call, every Uber ride, all of that is happening inside a building somewhere, using water and electricity every single day, all day. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. These buildings aren't spread out evenly. If you look at a map, the US has more data centers than the next 14 countries combined, and most of these are actually just crammed in a small area in Northern Virginia. People are starting to call it Data Center Alley. It's so in demand there that around 99% of that area is full. What I mean by this is that a large part of the internet is running through Northern Virginia, and the total power that these buildings use globally is 415 terawatt hours per year. That is about 1.4% of all electricity on Earth. By 2030, American data centers alone will use more electricity than every steel mill, every aluminum smelter, every cement plant, and every chemical factory in the country. And a lot of these are getting shut down, or people in these communities are trying to shut them down. So let me know what you think in the comments. Should we keep building these? Should we pause on them? My opinion is we keep building them, because if we don't, China will. Subscribe for more on economics, geopolitics, whatever you like.
And that's the thing, man. Virginia already has over 600 of those, and I think Texas is over 400, and California they're saying between 2 and 300. But I don't think they're counting all the data centers in California because that number has to be way higher. But it's even affecting places like Massachusetts, Boston, man, Boston.
My apologies to you guys. I should have actually informed you to wear something that would have covered your face a little bit more, like sunglasses or something.
Why?
Because they have facial
The whole
recognition
Tea Party
and
happened and
and
everything.
artificial intelligence facial recognition in these
Starting
cameras,
over.
so they can see you, and they'll figure out who you are. I'm Jake Forts, and I'm the resident here in Iowa Street in Lowell, Massachusetts, and you're at my humble abode. So that is the largest part of the Markley Group data center here in Lowell. In Massachusetts, in theory, you can't have a surveillance camera looking at somebody's backyard. And what the hell is that doing in the middle of a residential neighborhood? Without saying too much, being in camera view. It's been ascertained.
Why do you have to say that?
These cameras are high tech. They're $1,000 a pop. You have to be guarded on what you say around here, just because there is so much surveillance and what you do. Come back and actually see like the fishbowl of which I live in. For me in this neighborhood, it started 11 years ago.
Look at that. Look how dystopian that looks. Like,
Markley came and they started lying immediately. 10 years ago,
That's
they
crazy.
put the 2 diesel engines. So if you're looking over here, you can see 4 diesel engines. The furthest 2 were never supposed to be there. Actually, none of these 4 were supposed to be there. It didn't explode until they got the AI in there. So when Markley came, they told us that it was going to be one thing, that it wouldn't have a big impact on the community, and that it was going to be Netflix. And it has been anything but that. They've repeatedly changed the site to the point where this neighbor, Eileen, who has 2 water tanks in her backyard, they just popped up there during COVID. They started construction, didn't ask, but it's always do and ask for forgiveness later with this company. These 2 engines here were the first 2 to go in. These went in 2016, and that's when we said, what the hell are you doing? That's not where these were supposed to be. Everything that was mechanical was supposed to be on the other side of the facility. And by the way, don't worry about these folks because they sold out in December to them. Markley owns this. They own all of this. We're the last 2 privately owned houses on this street, and 9 Prince Ave is the last privately owned residence on Prince Ave. When he is done acquiring at cheap cutthroat rates, then this will cease to exist. He already has a plan, which he slipped in 2017, to build another building on the other side of the parking lot, where the parking lot is.
Yeah.
So where are those people parking? He needs to come this way. The tech bros are out there spinning a narrative to try and make it that we're all a bunch of hooligans.
Yeah.
I'm not a hooligan. I live this. This is my life every day. These guys are gaining for themselves. They're in it for themselves. The rest of the people are losing. And that's union versus union. That's working man versus working man. Exactly. It's everything. It's all, it doesn't matter what political spectrum you're on. Massachusetts, it's Democrat run. And this is proof positive right here in my backyard that corruption can happen in no matter what party it is when it comes to tech bros and the money that goes with these data centers.
Yeah.
You're in the Democrat.
Yeah, it's any side. It's Republican, it's Democrat, it's whatever fake damn political party they want to create tomorrow. They all are one big family that we're not part of. Like that's just the truth. And I mean, these data centers are just the blatant, we don't give a fuck about your health or your home or your community. It's just, I thought they'd be a little more subtle about it. It's weird.
Stronghold of the country. And this company is running amok. Governor Healy has meddled in my own personal appeal against this company. They've had 3 plan approvals before the DEP.
Governor Healy, for people that don't know, is a Democrat.
She is a Democrat, correct. However, Markley Group has also given to the Republican governor before her when he first came in, Charlie Baker. He received money from him as well. And also he tried to stop the millionaires tax from happening. So he gave, like, I think it was about $4 million to the super PAC that was trying to fight the millionaires tax in Massachusetts. So the other thing, the component that you don't get, but you're going to eventually figure out, is unions. So there is union versus union. These data center bros, or tech bros, or whatever they call them, these tech bros that exist out there are literally dividing the working people against each other. And so how are they doing that? They're using unions. IBEW is making a shit ton of money off of building these data centers across the country. So much so they can't even find enough people to build them. So they're training people up, which is growing their membership ranks. So they're so happy.
For people that don't understand, when you're in a union, the idea is that the dues go to the union and that union protects you.
Yes. But the problem is that people don't understand that's one union. What is data centers, or specifically artificial intelligence, doing to the job market? AI is literally going to destroy every entry-level job that is out there and other jobs. And all this because one union doesn't want to turn their backs on this to make it make sense for everybody.
Online, there's people saying that this rise against data centers is being pushed by foreign governments trying to slow down the United States in the AI race. What do you say to that?
Well, my opposition was before that came out.
Okay.
My problems with this data center existed long before that narrative came out, which I've only recently, very recently heard.
Yeah.
And that's because the tech bros are out there spinning a narrative to try and make it that we're all a bunch of hooligans.
Yeah.
I'm not a hooligan. I live this.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're targeting neighborhoods too that mostly they think are like low IQ or something like that. And it doesn't. They're basically calling people stupid and coming in buying up their property. But there's some people that are, they know what the end result is if this keeps happening. And I'm glad some communities are starting to stand up.
2.5 times larger than Manhattan.
Yeah. I wonder how long the actual data, how big
Oh,
the...
and just the data center requires more than double the current energy consumption of the entire state of Utah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, that's unbelievable. What do you think's really going on there? Do you have any intel about it?
You have to assume that this is Intel related because look at the companies that are involved. We're talking about Palantir and NVIDIA and Abraxas and all these big companies that either took CIA investments to get started as seed money or are staffed by retired senior CIA officers. They're not doing it for their health.
Why is so is the CIA now is spying on our own people?
Oh yeah, that's what Ed Snowden warned us about. Yeah, without Ed Snowden's revelations, we wouldn't have any idea that NSA and CIA were spying on Americans, which is not just illegal, it's a part of NSA's charter. that it may not spy on Americans. And this place in Utah, he and Julian Assange told us about Utah. This new compound in Utah that NSA has built has enough memory, storage space for every phone call, every email, and every text message from every American for the next 500 years.
Just that building alone.
Why?
Just that building?
Uh-huh.
Then
That's
why do they
crazy.
need all these buildings?
Yeah, why? They're everywhere. What are they collecting?
I'm not sure. And that's the thing. It's like, what? It must be, it's got to be all of our information. What would you do right now? Is there any way that people can protect themselves? Do you know?
It's almost impossible now.
Can you imagine just trying to chill in your backyard and this is the constant sound you're hearing? Like,
Yeah, see, you can see it's in the high 58s, 59s to 60s.
Breaking news. Did you guys hear about
crazy.
the other problem that data centers pose? Apart from the fact that, yes, they use a ton of water, they use a ton of electricity, they're going to be used to, well, what is the data center for? It's going to be for the implementation of AI everywhere and all the flock cameras and this whole thing about, being surveilled and whatnot. Those are just some of the issues. Here's a new issue that data centers cause that many people are shocked about. So while many people are complaining about the fact that if you live near a data center, you're going to be hearing a constant low frequency hum and broadband noise due to the massive cooling fans, air chillers, and on-site power generators. And while this does disrupt,
would drive
your
me
sleep
insane.
quality, and this is what people are reporting, it's like annoying to be near these things, but that sound doesn't just affect humans. Turns out, low frequency hums and high decibel roars from power plants, this is not necessarily data centers, but they're going to make similar noises, stresses farm animals. It can actually disrupt milk production, breeding habits, and general animal welfare. And the infrasound effect is that it will
There's the meat
travel
supply.
basically through the ground, it says. Inaudible, low frequency energy, vibrational energy travels easily through the ground and structures, creating an unsettling, continuous rumble felt by animals and humans alike. But then this study by Cal Poly did a 12-year experiment, and they basically found that industrial compressors disrupt plant seedlings and production. So look, 75% fewer seedlings. Areas exposed to loud, continuous industrial noise had a 75%
Crops,
reduction
too.
in pinyon pine seedlings compared to quiet sites, scaring off planters. The continuous noise did not directly hurt the plant tissue itself. Instead, it frightened away vital wildlife. Specifically, birds like the woodhouse scrub jay, which bury thousands of pine seeds, avoided the noisy areas entirely. So this could not just disrupt humans and animals, but also possibly plants. Again, this was about air compressors and industrial sounds, not necessarily data centers, but you can imagine they're both freaking loud. And that's crazy because I just found out stressed plants emit ultrasonic pops that we can't hear, but they can be caught by certain technologies, revealing a noisy cry for help, the loudest when they're dehydrated. So plants actually
That's
make
kinda sad.
noises. This plant I have here, it's not thirsty, but if it was, it would be crying right now in a weird frequency way. So let me know your thoughts. How come it's all about saving the climate, but all of a sudden we're loud and it's all chill and good to put up a bajillion data centers that use a bajillion gallons of water and use up a ton of energy?
I have a jar right here. This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia. Right after a data center was constructed, the metadata center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. Assistant Administrator Kramer, you are in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency's Office of Water, correct?
Correct.
And in your written testimony, you communicated a value that I think we all appreciate, which is that a top priority for EPA is ensuring continued drinking water safety, right?
Correct.
And this is a bedrock foundational value of the EPA, and it's one of the big reasons why it exists. And I also appreciate your commitment to clean water specifically. In fact, you said it very well on a MAHA action call just last month that, quote, when I turn the tap on and when every American turns the tap on, there should be confidence in what's in your drinking water. And I think that's a value that we all share. I wanted to ask you, while I have you here, if you've been receiving complaints or if you are aware of folks reaching out about data center construction impact on drinking water quality.
I am aware.
You're aware. And what are some of the things that you're seeing and hearing?
So one of, I think, the biggest concerns is related to water availability, which is why we recently relaunched the Water Reuse Action Plan 2.0 to focus on ensuring that whether it's data centers or
Anything about water quality, though?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Are there any complaint? I mean, are you observing any negative impacts on data center construction on water quality for Americans?
I don't think anything like that's been raised to my attention.
Okay.
What?
I would like to do so. A few weeks ago, while Congress was in recess, I visited Morgan County, Georgia, where Meta is building a massive data center campus. They are clear-cutting forests and began heavy construction, including explosive blasting. And families in the area are starting to see not only their water pressure decrease, to your point about water availability, but their appliances have all stopped working because it is decimating their water quality. They now rely on bottled water to drink and prepare meals, and nearby residents' water bills are expected to increase by 33%. In fact, I have a
The water
jar
bill
right
goes
here.
up.
This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia, right after a data center was constructed. The Meta data center was constructed. The only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation.
crazy, man.
This is what the drinking water now
How
looks
dark it
like
is.
next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to cook and bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whether it is, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met. And so we'll be looking into that certainly.
Thank you. I sincerely appreciate that because I think this is.
I mean, I feel like they should have something in place. The amount of government officials and employees they should have something in place where, as these things are being at least constructed, that for at least to give us some type of like peace of mind that somebody's monitoring what they're doing and not affecting our water. If there's these things in place, there should be somebody there monitoring that. And clearly there's not, if she didn't even know anything about it.
Of utmost importance, and we're seeing this happening across the country. I'd also like to ask about the administration's push to build more data centers by fast-tracking construction. Because the administration's been issuing executive orders to fast-track data center construction when we know that water quality is encountering major issues. Are there any mandates for data centers to do water quality testing prior to construction?
Of like coming from a public water supply, drinking water supply sampling?
Wells, yeah.
I'm not aware of anything like that.
Wow.
However,
You're
it
the
doesn't mean I'm just
EPA.
not aware of it. Might exist,
Yes,
but I'm not
of
aware.
course.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. What she was just asked if she knew about is quite literally her main job. So,
I think it's important that, you as an agency official, we have to make sure we're doing these investigations. And then us, on a congressional level, I'd like to note that I think it's of utmost importance that we also launch congressional investigations into this matter as well, so that we can partner with the EPA and ensure that the drinking water for this country continues to be safe and accessible for the American people. So thank you, Administrator.
Thank you.
look at that.
Y'all look, communities all around Florida are starting to push back against all new data center developments. And now Pasco County is ordering a 12-month freeze while they study the impacts of data centers. They said their concerns are water usage, power consumption, hold on, it's two more. Noise pollution and flooding risk. And also all the strain that these facilities could put on local infrastructure. Man, communities all over the states are raising the exact same concerns, maybe all over the world. Now, I'm going to take them at their word, which is extremely hard to do because we've been telling them about these data centers for a very long time, right? Officials say they don't know the full impact these massive data centers could have on local water supply, emergency resources, drainage systems, and the surrounding communities. But again, let's say I take them at their word. If y'all are still trying to figure out the risk, why are we racing to build more of them?
Fast
now,
tracking
I understand the argument about jobs and tax revenue, right? But if the cost is our water, our power supply, and our infrastructure, is that really a trade that Florida would like to make? The final conversation in Pasco, Florida is coming up soon, but this has become a statewide conversation. So what do y'all think? Should Florida continue building data centers or stop building these data centers altogether?
A town voted out their entire city council for approving a data center. Now they're coming for the mayor. Festus, Missouri, a small town right outside of St. Louis. A company comes in and says we want to build a $6 billion data center right here. Hundreds of residents packed inside of a high school gym. They got up one after another to say to the city council, we don't want this being built here. Don't do this to our town. The council approved it anyway, voted 6-2. But here's what the council didn't count on. The residents didn't just get mad and go home. They waited. Next election, the turnout was almost double of what it normally is. People who never voted in a local race showed up for one reason, to throw out every single commissioner who voted yes and approved these. And they did. 4 of the council members who approved the data center got voted out. They're gone. Some of them didn't even wait to be pushed out. They just resigned. And the residents still aren't done. Right now they're collecting signatures to recall the mayor and every remaining person who voted for it. On top of that, they filed a lawsuit saying the council broke open meeting laws to get this thing through. The residents aren't stopping at 4 members. They're going for all of them. This is what it looks like when a town refuses to be ignored. The company had the money and the council had the votes, but the people are taking the whole thing apart regardless. This can happen inside of your county too. Make sure to view your county's risk score on my nationwide data centers website, floridadatacenters.org. You can also send a personalized opposition letter directly to your commissioners from my verified data centers domain, ensuring it gets read and saved to public records. I'll have the link to the website inside the bio, and make sure to join our free newsletter and our Facebook group for recent updates and recent projects coming to your community and the surrounding areas.
I need to tell somebody about this right now. We need to protect these data centers. Did you know the data centers, despite being made of cement and stone wool, they're not fireproof? I know gasoline just burns on the surface and would trickle off right away, wouldn't do anything. But if somebody was to pour gasoline down the entire HVAC and ventilation system, it could be incredibly
against
dangerous
these things,
for the data
man.
center. And we need these data centers. I
Really
mean, they
against these
produce tens of jobs. So we have to have these. So nobody should ever go
It's a
near a
little
data
extreme,
center
but-
with anything flammable, because it could go up in flames and then that would be the end of that. I mean, data centers do so much for a community. They make sure that our water gets used. They make sure the electricity is being used efficiently. So we really need to make sure these are protected at all costs and make sure everybody knows these aren't flammable, and we should be really careful around the data
He's not the
centers.
only one. You'll see this next clip. There's people that are like looking for ways to destroy these things already. As you see, do not plant running bamboo near data centers. So they're already going
I
against
just
it.
seen a post that said, "Don't plant bamboo trees by data centers." If you know what you know, go plant the fuck out them bitches. Go plant them bitches. You need a battery in your back? Here go a Duracell. Go plant them bitches right now.
It's for entertainment purposes only, of course. I guess the cloud isn't being built above us, it's being built around us. But with that, guys, that's the video. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and we'll be here next time.